Hey, this is Dan here from Rune Silk, and I'm joined by one other, and that's none other than Damo for show, and this is the Beardmail Podcast. So sit back, listen, and enjoy.
Welcome to the Beardmail Podcast. We are Damo and Dan from the UK, hitting it hard. We've got beards and we've been educating people, we've been entertaining people, and today's hook, what we're talking about today, is all about beard education. We're talking about 5 different sorts of questions that I found on the internet, and we're going to answer them. Dan, say hello. Pretend we're talking to people we've never spoke to before, ever.
Hi, nice to meet you. It's absolutely freezing here in the UK right now. I've had to put my woolen hat on. And thank you for tuning into the Beardmail Podcast. I hope you find today's episode absolutely entertaining as much as we do doing it.
We actually did what we've done. We're doing loads of topics, right? Obviously, haven't we, Dan? We've done loads of things from TV to films to movies, but now we're going back to the basics. We're going back to the education for the beards because we've both had beards for a long time. We have lovely beards. Dan actually owns a beard making shizzle company, Rune Silk. Go and check them out. And we're going back to the questions. If you check out our podcast from last week, we looked at questions like which beard suits me, which beard trimmer is best, why beard oil, can beard oil cause acne? So we boxed all that off. If you need to know the answers to them questions, we did that on the last podcast. Today we're going to step it up, right? And Dan doesn't even know these questions because I like to spring it on him, just test his knowledge. No research allowed, no googling, no answers in an encyclopedia. Today I'm going to ask him, and we'll see how many questions we get through. I'm going to ask him some questions that start with are, how, will, when, and where. So Dan, how you feeling about these questions, mate?
Yeah, buzzing for these. Let's see how we get on.
Let's see what you did there. The first one is absolutely terrible, if I'm honest with you. But here we go. We'll answer it if we can together. For the listeners, are beard rollers legit? What do you know about beard rollers, Dan?
Our survey says... Computer says no. Do you know we should actually do when we do a live? We should do it when we do the live recording type stuff. When we get together in the same room, we should actually do an episode where we'll spend some of our hard-earned. Hang on a minute. Strike that. Reverse it. We'll waste some of our hard-earned money. We'll buy some of these said derma roller beard devices, and we'll just do it. We'll do it live in the studio and just to see how we feel about them.
Interesting.
Some might say
you think we're talking about derma rollers. Interesting, because I was thinking about curly rollers for freestyling.
Oh,
there you go. Ooh. You talk about dermas. I'll talk about freestyling. Interesting. But obviously, these are the questions that people are asking on the Tinterweb. They're literally typing this in. Are beard rollers legit? Dan, you're talking about derma rollers. Educate people. What is a derma roller? And do you think it's legit?
Derma roller is essentially a wheel with spikes on it that you roll along your face in a sadistic manner, causing pain in the hopes that it will actually give you some kind of beard growth. But I think we did cover this, didn't we? When we were talking about marquee science. And I think what's the terms and conditions? I think they say basically don't shave, use a derma roller. In 6 months' time, you'll probably have a beard. It's like, okay then. If you just don't shave, you might have a beard as well.
Can you remember what episode that was on? We can revert people back. If you haven't seen our other episodes or listened to our other episodes, we have loads of episodes, but we have already talked about derma rollers. So Dan, I want to talk about freestyling rollers, actual curly rollers. I mean, are you
talking about heated rollers or like the stash rolls, for example, the Dan Silky Brown models?
Yeah,
to get the curls in the stash.
I'm talking Dot Cotton. God rest her soul. She's been on EastEnders all this week. I'm talking Dot Cotton rollers. You know, like old-fashioned stuff that you put in your hair, but using it in your beard for freestyling and for just putting a bit of a curl and a bit of shape in your beard. That's what I thought it meant. I might be wrong, but I think they're legit. Do you think they're legit?
So Dan Silky Brown, big shout out, did actually donate some stash rolls to me when we met at the Opie's after the Opie's competition in May, and I did give them a go. To be fair, like they're pretty cool. They work to get the beard curled. I think I just either misplaced them, the dog might have eaten them, or any of the above. We've said homework, and I just stopped because I couldn't find them. And I also just didn't really want to sit there of an evening and just start curling my touch up, because my wife looked at me and just went, well, "What are you doing? You're looking old. Get them out." But each, if they worked for others, then cool. Like they do what they're supposed to do. They curl your tash. I don't know about the beard though, because my beard's not long enough, I don't think, to get one in and get a good enough curl on it. I might be wrong.
Well,
but yeah, absolutely.
If people have a little look at the British Championships this year, the 5th British Championships, I freestyled, right, and I obviously put a massive, beautiful, curly shape in my beard here, and I actually bought some rollers from Amazon to do it, and then I realised that actually they're no good because they actually grip. It's hard to pull them out once you've set it with 85 cans of hairspray. So actually, the best thing to use, I found, was a can. If it's any American folk listening, like a soda can over here, can of Tango, empty. But because it's, I say metal, what is a can made of? Aluminium, tin, metal.
Aluminium,
but because it can get hot when you heat it up, it helps with putting the heat from the inside as well. So actually, as much as beard rollers are they legit, it's actually better to use a drinks can. And then hairspray with that and heat with that, because it heats it from the inside. So actual rollers for your beard are not that good because they get caught. They get caught basically. The little ones you're talking about, the old stash rolls, like say Dan Silky Brown has done for the tash, are really good. And they also have a little bit of extra Velcro to keep it out of the way. It's a lot of work, but it does work well. That said, I have spoken to people that have beautiful, wicked curls without using anything at all, other than literally just the wax and the shape, and it's crazy. I think a lot of it depends on how much tash, how much patience, how much practice, and how much beard you've got. But yeah,
mine
I think
kind of tends to curl quite naturally anyway, because I've got pretty curly hair, so my tash, and because and Stuart Morse from Fine Fettle will be proud, as I've been definitely doing the train not trim, and I genuinely just sit there, for those watching on the tube, just doing this said motion with my tash and just putting it off the top of my lip, and as I do, I kind of bring it up to the cheek, so you kind of almost training the mustache to generate that kind of natural curl. So for those watching, if you don't know if you can see very well, but I've got nothing in my tash today, and you can almost see that it kind of pings in an upward anyway. So if I got some wax in there now, I'd probably get quite a wicked curl.
For those listening, we do still love you, but Dan usually knackers the podcast by doing stuff that people can't see, and he usually talks about food, which he hasn't done yet, which is fine. However, just descriptiveness for the people that can't see, Dan's basically got a bit of a curly tash, and he's playing with it, and he's curling it with his fingers, and it looks delightful. Just quickly, Dan, on the rollers, because some people would use, not myself, because I tend to use a scrunchie or a bead, but some people also use a roller to sort of get the shape on their beard. But I would suggest just using a nice rollery brush and always a blow dry and a little bit of heat, but not too much. So yeah, in answer to the question, are beard rollers legit? I would say to Google, depends what sort of rollers you're talking about. But derma rollers, Dan, you reckon? No, they're burgling. Curly rollers, we're like a no, because they're too grippy. But stash rollers, yeah, they're all right if you practice. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think it depends. I think I'd be interested to see, actually, maybe watch back some videos that Dan's done and see how he removes the stash roll to keep it. And then is it just to give it the baseline curl, ready to kind of give it the finishing touches, which I imagine is probably more so the purpose of it, is to kind of give it that sort of already natural bend, so that when you apply your product, it's a lot easier, more malleable to actually keep into a nice tight handlebar. Who was it at the Plymouth one? Was it Jack Lamborn? He had good curls, didn't he? Did you ask him how he achieved his?
I did, actually, and I hope I'm not giving away any top tips, but he did say that he just used a pomade, And he just literally did it with his fingers. So there you go. There you go. When I did mine, I did my beard with the cans. I used the cans to curl my beard, and then I actually I didn't use any rollers for my tash, but I put a hell of a lot of really top notch waxy lanolin tash stuff in it. Anyway, Dan, we've got to move on. We're 10 minutes in.
Next
the question
question.
of the rollers is done. Stay tuned if you want to find out about how. We're into the hows, Dan. How does a beard change your face? Timestamp 10:41. How does a beard change your face?
Well, I mean, if you look at me for a good example on that, I mean, facial hair near on covers something like 45% of my face. So I would say it changes it quite drastically, actually. And believe it or not, my natural face shape, my beard at the moment is obviously quite flat against my jumper, and it's like out to the side there, and my chin isn't that round. So quite a lot.
It does actually massively change your face, doesn't it? I mean, I haven't seen my chin for 8 years or so, but it does give you additional length. And it is crazy if you've gotten used to having a big beard, it changes the shape of your face phenomenally. And some people will have a nice square beard at the bottom, some will pull it together, some will have a bit of a fork. But if you've not seen anybody who's got a massive beard, if you've not seen them without a beard ever, it's quite interesting to just tell them to try and move it out of the way, and it doesn't half change the whole shape of the jawline. So yeah, how does a beard change your face? I think it makes you look a bit more manly, a bit more wildernessy, a bit more outdoorsy, a bit more. I had the poorly stuff.
Bit more poorly. So I mean, going back to historic research and ancient times. Obviously, the beard was very much a sign of wisdom. It was also a huge sign of masculinity. That quite a lot of women were attracted to men with beards because it kind of, I guess, for one, a good level of testosterone. You're literally showing it on your face in huge quantities. So what you're really saying to a woman is, I've got outstanding genes. You should probably have my children. But that's going back to sort of ancient Greece, that sort of stuff. Even up to it was only until the sort of the Renaissance period. I think it was a Renaissance period where we were sort of almost beauty shamed that facial hair or hair in general was just not very pretty. So hence why we started going through the phase of being clean shaven. Women started shaving their armpits, their legs, that sort of stuff. Because it was mainly kind of body shaming, and that it was that hair just wasn't attractive. But actually, facial hair is massively attractive. My wife is adamant that every bird that sees me on the street fancies me because of my beard. So I would say it changes massively. Makes you much more attractive as a person.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend hasn't seen me without a beard, so.
Oh, don't know. Yeah, you might. If you do want to get rid of her for any reason, just shave it off, and she'll probably be like, "Oh fuck me."
She'll be gone.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, is that where his chin finishes?
I would be so worried that there's like 3 chins under there now, and all pasty and white and that. I would hate it. So, how a beard changes your face. It changes the shape, it changes how other people may interpret you. Yeah, that's a fair point, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, most people looking at me now with my trawler beanie on probably think that I'm a fisherman.
You look like you're going
I look like I'm fresh off the boat. Caught me some crabs this weekend. All right, boys, get down there to the market, sell them fresh off the boat, like.
When you've collected them from your underpants. So that's how timestamp that one. We're on 14:23. This is one that you will shine. Dan, you will absolutely shine. Will beard oil help you grow a beard?
Probably not.
It'll grow on its own, won't it? It'll grow on its own, won't it?
It'll grow on its own. There's people out there that don't use beard products that have proven that. I've had I've had conversations with people even recently. I'm like, your beard's magnificent. Like, what do you do? I'll just wash it in the shower, mate. Right, just kind of just have a little shampoo every now and then, walk out the front door. And I'm like, you've got a competition-winning beard. That's proper glorious. Like, please put some product in it, and preferably mine. So I think, so what beard oil can do to help, and this is genuine and not just marky science, like things like hemp seed oil, for example, are quite good with absorption and can help thicken the beard, because essentially a beard will soak up that oil, and if it retains oil, it will swell. So therefore, if it swells, it will get bigger. And if it gets bigger, your beard will look fuller. So that is a truth.
Are you telling me that we could use some of your oil and we would have swole beards?
Depends which oil you use, but yeah, probably some of them might have hemp seed oil in them.
Oh, so it's only hemp seed oil. It's not all oils.
No. Quite a few oils, but hemp seed oil is quite renowned for helping to give good figure, fuller, and some weight to the beard. Upon researching those oils, it does say that it's quite good for fuller, thicker hair.
Nice. Everyone's going to go out and buy some hemp oil. There we go. So an answer to the question, will beard oil help grow your beard? It won't necessarily help it grow. It might make it feel different, might make it smell better, it might make it look a little bit swole, but it won't really actually help it grow. It's a lot, obviously, down to genes. Hereditariness, isn't it, Dan? Hereditariness.
But I think also just the whole grooming in general gives us a bit more confidence to let more of it grow out. Like for me, my biggest hack, and one of the reasons why my beard probably does look so full, is I don't shave my neckline. So, quite a lot of my beard isn't just off my chin, it's actually underneath the jaw, and I let that grow out and I pull it forward and through, and therefore you get a nice good chunk, because you've got another good sort of few centimeters of depth coming from my neckline. So,
does it join up to the chest there? Does it join up to the chest?
No, I'm neither blessed nor or hindered by having a huge chest hair that meets the neck. So no, quite the knot. No, there is hair on it. I'm just not a grizzly bear. I have a pathetic amount of chest hair. It's almost embarrassing. I should shave it off, to be honest.
Good. Excuse me for coughing there. Sorry very much.
Go on, next.
A little bit of a winter cold there going on. It's not COVID though, because I've had a test. Next question. No, we've done that one. We're on to the whens now. When? This is good, actually.
When will I see you again?
It will be interesting to hear your answer, Dan. When does the beard start to grow?
When?
Yeah. 07:30 on a Wednesday morning. You listen to the Beardmail podcast.
I was going to say immediately when you stop shaving it. Well, it depends, isn't it? I mean, how far are we going? I mean, essentially, facial hair usually kicks in around adolescence. Some people start puberty at different ages. So, when you balls drop, I don't know what the general science answer is. When a young male reaches some form of adolescence, they might start to notice that hair grows in different places. Some places you might be surprised to see where hair starts to grow from, one of which may be your top lip.
Then is that off the sex education video?
Probably from when I was like
word for word, yeah, off a sex education video. Carry on.
That's how much that's pretty much how much it scarred me back then, But yeah, you may also start to see some slight hair raising along the side of your chin, and then possibly a few hairs on your chin. You should probably shave those off to prevent yourself looking a twat in these early phases. But nonetheless, after a while, those patches will hopefully start to fill in, and you'll look like a real man.
What sort of age? Because I think the question was really what age, and obviously you've very, very politely and professionally put it there that it's different for different men, different for different young boys, different for different adolescent chaps, and also that would span across obviously different races and that as well, because it will be different for different folk in different parts of the world as well. But some people do.
Sorry, there's some Christmas tunes playing downstairs. I think the coffee house downstairs has closed the doors and they started cleaning. They go, "Merry Christmas, everyone." Do. Sorry to interrupt you that rudeness.
I can't believe, Dan, that I was literally wearing my Santa hat earlier and I wanted to wear it and I took it off because we like to make the podcast timeless by not mentioning anything like Christmas. So, damn it, Dan, damn it. This was going to be timeless.
Oh, the
People could have
snow's
listened to this.
outside.
People could have
The
listened to this
streets
in
are
the
full of
summertime.
lights. They can still. This Christmas still exists in summertime. What also going on to what you're saying, just briefly, like although I've had some sort of facial hair since quite a young age. I kind of really started with sideburns, a really awkward tash, and maybe like the Craig David lines. I couldn't actually grow a full beard until I was well into my 30s. Like, I know a lot of people go, yeah, I've had a beard all my life, mate. Yeah, pretty much came out shaving. Honestly, I probably had a fairly average to poor beard in my early 30s. It was only probably until I started between maybe mid 30s that actually proper manhood kicked in, and I was like, yeah, now you're a man. You can have a beard. Because a lot of people kind of, you see a lot of people saying, oh, I can't grow a beard. Or, I'd love to grow a beard like yours. And I'm like, how old are you? And they're like 23. And I'm like, well, probably not going to happen, mate. Like, in all reality, like, you're still a kid. Like, even at 22, I was a kid at 22. I was a kid at 23, 24, 25, 26. Even until I turned 30, I was still pretty much a kid, I reckon. So, I would say good 30s. You probably can grow a solid, we'll go chop down some trees, do a bit of pillaging and that.
Yes, I will take that. I do think some of the fuller, better beards come with maturity, don't they? And around that 30 age. That said, I did know lads at school when they were like 15, 16, and they had beards and that, which I was quite envious of at the time. But it's different for different blokes. But yeah, definitely. I think I really started mine growing out when I was about 26, 27. It's the first time I had a go at having a proper beard rather than, just a bit of stubble. But yeah, I mean, I'm 40-ish now. You're 40-ish now. And we have lovely beards. Lovely. So there you go. Gents, if you are listening and you are only 17, 18, 19, even up to 23, 24, 25, don't panic. There's time when you're 30.
But then at the same merit, a lot of people kind of go, they complain that they might have a patchy beard, but they're really, in reality, they've probably got maybe 10 mil of beard hair on them. It's like, well, look, you'll probably grow it elsewhere. If you're a little bit patchy on the side of the face, well, just grow you might find that bit grows better. Just grow it over it. It's almost like a comb over, I guess. Just grow it in other areas and just cover up the bits that don't necessarily grow.
Dan, can you believe in these two podcasts, right, we have covered the most asked questions, starting with what, which, why, can, are, how, will, when, and there's one left to do. And we've already sort of covered it a little bit. And it's the where. The where
does a beard grow? Where does a lady garden grow?
Where is the beard neckline? Because you already allured to it a little bit, didn't you? And that you don't shave. But I think this compounds with a lot of people often asking on the internet about where to shape the neckline with their beard. So what are your thoughts on where is the beard neckline?
It depends on it. Completely 100% depends on the style of beard that you've got. So if you're rocking a fairly short beard, and it's what we call the professional beard, so then you need to keep it quite neat and tidy just underneath the jawline, essentially. So, but as you grow your beard out, your neckline can be as long as your beard is. I would say in a quick answer, that your neck to beard line ratio should be no shorter nor longer than your overall beard length. So if you've got quite a long beard, but you're keeping it sort of this sort of length, and then all of a sudden you're growing the neck out, then it's going to look really odd, and probably a little bit out of place and a bit messy. So, whereas I tend to keep my beard along the side by my jawline, no shorter than where my neckline would probably start to grow out at the side there. So to make sure that you cover that so that you at least look presentable. Essentially, it's making sure that you look presentable. Whether you've got a long beard, short beard, just make it look good. Otherwise, if you just look a mess, it's just not nice.
1,000,000%. I personally feel that one of the worst things that people can do and will continue to do is shave the neckline too high, and have a beard that is like along the jawline. And it's like, no, you need to be down just to play with your Adam's apple. And when you are starting to grow your beard out, make sure that you don't go I wouldn't even go higher than your Adam's apple, just on the top of it. And then that will give you a nice line here. And then as it grows out over the top, then just keep letting it grow. And then you can leave it underneath to fill out. But like mine, you'll notice here, sorry for the listeners, but mine has got a big gap here. And it's just different people, again, have different types of beards, different types of necklines. But yeah, don't have it too high. Have you seen these people, Dan, that have a beard, but it's like above their chin, above their jawline? It's like, no, let it come down, man. Let it come down.
Yeah, and then they'll probably ask the question, why does my beard look so thin? And it's like, because it is. Because you've literally got one layer of hair growing. It's like, let it grow out. If you want a fuller, thicker beard, let it grow. And the other thing as well is, with everything really, when you're going through a beard journey, you've got two options. You can either just let it grow and just be quite happy in the fact that it probably looks a mess for a bit, or my tip or my suggestion, bit of advice, is just regularly go and visit a barber and let them they'll help you style your beard out to how it kind of grows. As it's going, go with phases. Get it shaped, get it tidied, let it grow. Get it shaped, get it tidied, let it grow. I would say they're your sort of two main kind of options. Is you don't have to just let it grow grizzly and then go, probably should get that trimmed now. You can kind of maintain a good beard style as it grows out over time in different lengths.
Absolutely, but that's all about having a good barber. And I think whenever you go to a barber's, especially if you're going, if you're planning something out, go into the barbers and say, look, my goal over the next year is to grow a big beard. So I want to make sure that, you as my barber are aware of that, and you're not just hacking it right back and setting me back a couple of months every time I come to see you. So yeah, I like that, Dan. What was that? We should make that a thing. What was it? Trim it, style it, shape it, let it grow. What was it? Can you remember? Rewind.
Style it, shape it, let it grow.
Style it, shape it, let it grow. Style it, shape it,
let it grow. Shape it, let it grow.
Let it grow.
Let it grow.
Do you know what? That is a tip of the week. That's a tip of the week. That is tip of the week. Tip of the week.
Style it, shape it, let it grow. But no, you're right on though. But that's the thing though, right? You go to the barbers. If you go into a barber's, you sit down and you go, haircut and a beard trim, please.
It's all coming off.
Well, I mean, that's your own fault for not continuing. You literally put a full stop where you shouldn't have. It should have been. So basically, I am looking to grow the beard out. You can tidy the top lip a little bit to clean off some of those bits that are a bit uneven. But I am trying to grow my mustache out, so just don't take off too much. And I'm literally, all I'm asking you to do right now is if you could just see where I've got some stragglers. I want to keep where you can see the thickness. Just take off those little bits off, but I want to keep the shape. But just where those little bits are just growing a little bit uneven, if you could just whip those off carefully, we'll see how it looks from there. And if I want you to take any more off after that, then you can take off more after that, but not until I say take off more after that. So anyone going to the barbers, you can feel free to just literally rewind that, write that shit down and give it to them on a piece of paper and say, this is what Dan said. Dan said, just take off the little long bits that look a little bit messy and just leave me with the bit where, and it's the same with terminal length. People kind of go, I've got a bit of terminal length. It's like, yeah, cool. So when you go to the barbers, just say to them, look, where you can start seeing through my beard and you can see my t-shirt through it, just take it to where it's thicker. And then we can carry on from there in a couple of months' time. Like, it doesn't have to be too complicated. Just keep it looking tidy.
That's a lot to remember though, Dan. So I would say to people, when you walk into the barber shop, say as loud as you can, style it, shape it, let it grow. Style it, shape it, let it grow. And hopefully, and I would say this is going to happen, 9 out of 10 times of doing this in different barbers, you'll find that the barber will turn around and go, hey, you listen to the Beardmail podcast, and then just carry on. Style it, shape it, let it grow. And then probably, before you know it, the whole shop will be flash mobbing. Everyone will be singing it. Please put it on TikTok, film it, send it to us. And Dan that's his tip of the week. Style it, shape it, let it grow. I love it.
And if the barber's like this towards your beard, just get up and leave. If they look like
this is a bit of an aside, right? Sporadically, if I'm walking through the town, any town, because I go to lots of different towns, I would literally go to a barber's, right, and just poke my head in the door, and everyone looks round, because that's the thing, isn't it? Everyone looks round, and I would just go to them, would you shave this off? And they're like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, nah, and then shut the door. Like, that's a good way to find out. If the barber goes, whoa, no way, I would not shave that off, but I'll tidy it up for you. That's the barber to go and see. That's your opening question. Yeah. You shave this off for me? They should be saying, hell no, that's beautiful. Let me style it and tell you what, let me style it, shape it, let it grow.
Let it grow. We got to style it, shape it, let it grow. So a friend of mine always says never cheat on your barber, for one. However, I did a bit of naughty, and I went to a different barber's this week, as I think I mentioned in the last podcast. And I was pleasantly surprised. But it's but I think the other thing as well, sometimes it is quite nice when they are a little bit cautious, because it's like, yeah, you're a bit cautious, so you're probably going to shit yourself and only take off the stragglers right now because you don't know how to shape it. So, which is fine. But I always ask the other question as well is, if they don't have beard trim on their menu of stuff, then you don't just walk out, because they're definitely, it's not something they do on a regular basis. And just ask. You can always ask the question, like, do you have a lot of experience in beard shaping? There's no reason in just saying, do you do a lot of beards?
But if they turn around and go, yeah, I've done loads. Like, what? You've done loads really bad? You know what I mean? That doesn't happen.
No, there is that. And depending on some of the barbers, they'll sell you anything. They'll be like, yeah, of course, man. Do beards all the time. I've done 17 today. It's only 9:30. You've done 17. I should probably fucking leave. There's no
didn't
way.
Take much time on them.
No, that's it. I mean, my beard trim, I think I nipped out for a cheeky little beard trim at lunch break, and I think it took 45 minutes for her to shave the undercut of my hair and trim my beard. So like there was proper due care and attention being took. Like if they're like, yeah, got 15 minutes, I could probably squeeze you in. It's like, yeah, I'll book later. I'll come back, see you later. So, but yeah.
Good eye. Dan, we completed it. We did the what, which, why, can, are, how, will, when, where over the last 2 episodes. So we are available. If anyone actually has any other questions they'd like to ask us, drop them in the comments on YouTube. And I will always discover. We need to keep it off. I thought it was quite entertaining there. Like it, shave it, let it grow. Hang on, shave it wasn't in there. Style it. But obviously we
style it, shape it, let it grow.
We are here to educate people on beard care as much as we are here to chat about stuff. Actually, Dan, while we're talking about awesome things, just very briefly, because we're wrapping up the podcast now, did you see that little video we did? I liked the talk when it said, "If you dare to stare beyond the hair." Did you hear it? Did you listen to it on the psychedelic?
Yeah, I love that. I love that video.
Stare beyond the hair, like it, style it, let it grow.
Let it grow.
Stare beyond the hair. Smells like Beardmail. We need to make a song.
And for the listeners, because I think we know what the next episode is going to be, and it would really be quite cool to get some audience participation. So I don't know how many of you have seen so far about this whole ChatGPT open.ai. Write some stuff. Next week's episodes, we're going to do some live AI stuff where we're going to read. It's going to be really quite cool. We're going to create some stories and read some made on the spot AI stories. So if you've got some topics that you want to chuck into some of those stories, whether you want to be featured as our main character in the story of the Quest of the Beards, let us know and tune in. So let us know in the comments if you want to be involved, if your name wants to be brought in, if you've got any topics you want us to talk about in these stories, because next week is literally going to be make it up as we AI go along. So tune in, because I can't wait for that.
And that officially means it is now confirmed. That's what we're doing. Because when Dan came up with the idea, I was thinking, yeah, we'll swerve that. That would never happen. But it looks like we've got to do it now.
You can't now, because it's out there. It's out there in the public domain, and everybody's now going to tune in to hear the devastating and the dramatic stories and the fate of the bearded warrior.
There's no better place to cease this podcast for today. Thanks very much for listening, everybody. We'll see you all another day. Go and buy a Beardmail box while you're out there. Bye. Thanks for listening or watching the Beardmail podcast. We have new episodes dropping at 07:30 a.m. every Wednesday in UK time. So we thank you very much for watching. Check us out on www.beardmail.co.uk for everything that's new and happening soon. Thanks for listening, guys. We're still recording.
You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, baby, right round.
What?
Bye.
Stylish.